Alright, hello everyone, this is Sam of Philosophical Films, and today I'm going to be bringing you my Liberator deck profile.
With special co-host Bar Chargon, aka Quinn, of also of Philosophical Films.
Okay, so you might have seen my last video. It was the unboxing of the Liberator of the Sanctuary trial deck. Sorry if you can hear barking.
And the Eradicators.
And the Eradicators. Sorry if you can hear barking in the background.
That's the same dog who drank water in the last video.
So, yeah, we're just going to go through. We're going to be starting off with the grade 0s, and then we'll go all the way up. Just to let you know, this deck does focus on Monarch Sanctuary Alfred.
If you couldn't tell by all of this.
He is the boss monster of the deck, and he's the one that you're going to be focusing on.
It's obviously Halo Liberator, because you always get him with his ability.
Today, here, I don't know why I said today. Your starter is going to be Yearning Liberator Arum. Basically, when you have a grade 3, you can move him to the soul, search out one Blaster Blade Liberator from your deck, reveal it to your opponent, shuffle your deck, and then put it on top. When it comes to this guy, you're not going to be using his effect until you...
Just about Monarch.
Until you get to Monarch. You're going to want to be sitting at 5 damage, because that's when you're going to get his ultimate break, but I'll explain that later when I set up the field. So, we're going to put that to the side. So, the other grade 0s are just going to be your standard 4 heals. That's pretty much it. I would line them all out in front of you guys, but the camera I'm using is kind of new to me, and honestly, it's not really that good. So I don't really have a wide screen.
It's not the worst, though.
Then you're going to be running about 8 crits. You can choose to run stand triggers if you want, but I like to play more offensively, so I choose to run 8 critical triggers. Next are your standard 4 draw triggers. If you want, you could run 6 just to search a little faster, but I prefer just the standard 4. Alright, so that's all the grade 0s. Next we'll be moving to grade 1s. So, your Sentinel of the deck is going to be Halo Liberator Mark.
Which you're going to be using a lot because you're going to call him with Monarch's ability every
You're
time.
You're going to call him with Monarch's ability. So, when it comes to this deck, you really don't want to be playing Quintet Walls because you're calling things from the deck. It's better just to play it safe and use the traditional complete guard because most of the time this deck has a lot of RNG and you don't want to be calling your stuff too early and wasting it. So,
which either way, it's going to happen a lot.
Yeah, just stick with the complete guard.
Well, I mean, play how you want, but that's just an opinion.
This is just my build of the deck.
It's an opinion from a Liberator player who is booty tickled that he lost to a base Eradicator trial deck.
That was a long time ago. All right.
Well, like last week, 3 weeks ago. Sorry, 3 weeks ago.
Next, May Rain Liberator Bruno. Basically, this guy, whenever a card is called from the top of the deck, you can add 3,000 power. I'll explain what you can do with him later when I show you the field that you're going to want to go for near the end of the game. But he's a good grade 1, can get pretty high in power, so that's that. Alright, next, you're going to be running 4 White Rainbow Liberator Balans. Basically what this guy does is when a Blaster Blade Liberator is called onto the field from the deck, you can countercharge 1 damage. Cool thing about this guy is he does not need to be in the same column as Blaster Blade Liberator. He can be anywhere on the field. And if there are 2 Blaster Blade Liberators, you get to countercharge 2 damage. So the more of him, or the more Blaster Blades, is better.
I mean, to be honest, you want a good balance of 2 of each of them, honestly.
Next, we're going to be running 2 Physical Liberator Zorron, or Physical Force Liberator Zorron. Pretty much what he's used for is putting him in the soul. When he's called, you can put him in the soul, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and Superior Call 1. Nice thing, he builds up your soul for Monarch, and then you get a free Superior Call. No, most of the time, it will probably be something good, like Fallon
or just 3 Halo Liberator.
Or 3 Halo Liberator Marks.
It's happened to him before, so it's hilarious.
Yeah. I only run 2 of him. You could bump that up to 3 with the next card I'm about to show you. I run 1 little Liberator Marron. You could choose to run another Zorron if you want, but I don't have one, so Marron is what I'm using right now. Marron's good. You can choose to ride her for your first Vanguard if you get her in your hand, or she's good when she's called to rearguard, because when she attacks, she gets 3,000 power, making her 10, so you can do with or without it. Alright, next we're going to be going to the grade 2s. So, 4 Blaster Blade Liberators. This is a must.
No. See, he's lying. You don't even need a Blaster Blade Liberator.
This guy, next to Monarch, he is the MVP of the deck. The deck really, a lot of the cards in this deck focus around him. When it comes to his skill, you can choose to activate it if you want. You don't have to, because when it comes to your counterblasts,
you're going to be using it all on Monarch.
Yeah, you're going to be using it all on Monarch. You really want to save your counterblast, so...
But I mean, if there's like a rearguard that's really just wrecking your style,
if it's a situation, then yeah, you use it smart, or use it wisely.
Yeah.
So, 4 of him, he is a hard card to come by. It took me forever just to get 4 of them. So, this deck can be difficult to build, but once it's done, it's really fun to play. So, we run 4 of him.
But annoying to play against.
Yes, very annoying to play against.
No, like, you would know. You've never played against your own deck.
You could play it. Next, we run 4 Liberator of Royalty Falons. This is another card that's really hard to get. I couldn't even get 4 of this art. I had to get 3 of the one from the Bluish Flame Liberator decks.
But, I mean, it's still a pretty cool card.
But he's probably the best grade 2 rearguard you can get besides Blaster Blade, because when he's on rearguard and if you're attacking a Vanguard, he gains 3,000 extra power, so that can come in handy. Other than that, he's a good attacker for rearguard. So, I run 4 of him.
No special intercepts.
No special... Get out here, zoom down angle. Next, we run 2 Liberator Star Rain Trumpeters.
Pretty much for shits and giggles.
Honestly, you don't have to run this. I choose to, because if you have a Blaster Blade in the drop zone or in your soul, you can put it back in the deck, shuffle the deck, and then Superior Call 1 unit from the top of the deck. You can do with or without. It's just to recycle your Blaster Blades, to be honest. Really nothing more. But it can help you out. You can choose to either just run 1 or 2. I choose to run 2. So that is it for the grade 2s. So on to the grade 3s. So run 2 Solitary Liberator Gancelots. Honestly, I run him for the break ride because it can really come in handy.
Yeah. Real handy.
This is another card that's really hard to come by because he was in the trial deck. So if you can get your hands on him, honestly, use him. I choose to run 2. You could run 4 if you wanted. I know most people prefer to run 4 Zeniths or Zeniths, whatever you prefer. But I like to have the balance of 2. Because that break ride really can come in handy.
Yeah, Mr. 60,000 fucking power Monarch.
Next, I run 2 Liberator of Bonds, Gancelot Zenith. He's good because if you ride him on top of Solitary Liberator Gancelot, he gains 2,000. I do believe that's at all times.
Cross ride.
Yeah, that cross ride. And another cool thing you can do when you're attacking, so let's say he's on Vanguard and here, let's just...
Yeah, just put him under there.
Let's say we have Starhope, and Starhope's already attacked. When Gancelot attacks, you can counterblast 1, put Starhope back at the bottom of the deck, Superior Call 1, and you could probably call like something like
Monarch,
Marron, and get another attack. So that can come in handy.
Or you pull Mark again.
Or you pull Mark again.
Because that happens to him a lot.
So really does come in handy. I only really like to run 2 of him. Most people run 4. But I just prefer to run the 2.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just also how you run your deck.
Yeah, this is just me. This is my deck profile. Mm-hmm. And then next is your boss monster. You have Liberator Monarch Sanctuary Alfred. This is your bread and butter of the deck. His ultimate break is if a Blaster Blade Liberator is called from the top of the deck, it gains 10,000 power and 1 extra crit. That's if you have 5 damage. Basically, the cool thing about this is it does stack. So if you call more than 1 Blaster Blade Liberator, you're going to be getting
Mr. 60,000.
So if you call 2,
Power.
you get 20,000 power and 2 crits, and it stacks, and it's really
If
cool.
you get 4, that's 4 crit and 40,000 extra power.
He gains 1,000 for each one of your rear guards, and his limit break. Counterblast 3, Soul Blast 2. If you have locked cards, unlock them, put all cards on top of the deck, and then Superior Call 5. So really comes in handy. This is the one you're going to be riding last. Because he's going to become the most powerful, and he's going to be the one that sets up your field for you.
And you're just gonna get touched.
So that is the deck profile. I'm going to show you probably the best formation you can get, or the formation that you're going to want to achieve at the end game, pretty much. So you're going to want Monarch. This is probably the starting field you're going to have, because
It's usually the field you have.
yeah, it's the field that I have. So you're going to have your Arum in the back unless someone retires it.
Which I try hard to.
You're going to want if you have a Blaster Blade Liberator in your hand, save them until you ride Monarch and you can achieve the ultimate break. So let's say I have 2 Blaster Blade Liberators, and then next you want at least 1 Balan and 1 Bruno. You can't really see that too well, but it is Bruno. Bruno's here. Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to move Arum. You move Arum to the Soul. Search out your Blaster Blade Liberator, put it on top of your deck. Then you're going to Counterblast 3, Soul Blast 2, and next... So then, at this point you're going to have 3 Blaster Blade Liberators.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. If you can get it. So, with that, this is the field you want. You want Bruno to be in the middle, because he's going to gain 12,000 power, making him 19 boost. And that's going to go towards Alfred.
Pain in the ass.
Alfred will, with his ultimate break, he will be receiving 30,000 power and 3 crits. Actually, 35,000 power, 3 crits. With the Blaster Blades. You will not be able to boost 1 Blaster Blade, but you could still take out a rear guard potentially.
Depending on what they're playing, yeah.
And then with Balan, you're going to be able to countercharge 3 damage. So, with his counterblast, you counterblast 3. If this attack does fail, hopefully you'll have enough to guard next attack, and you'll be able to do it again.
Which is super uber annoying.
So this is the field you essentially want in the end.
I love the Liberators, I do. God, they're annoying.
We've played this deck a lot, honestly. In the early stages, this deck really wasn't that good, but now that
It was still pretty good, though.
it's actually finished, it performs very well. I do not run any G units or G Guardians. I plan to in the future, but the pool for Liberator G units is very small.
It's Bluish Flame.
Yeah, it's mostly made up of
Bluish Flame or nothing.
But if you want to run those, you can. I don't have them yet, and this is just how I build the deck.
I mean, Gold Paladin and G Guardians are always worth running, even if you don't run any actual G units other than G Guardians, because they're just a good boost.
So, honestly, that's all I can really say. If you guys want to comment down below if you have any questions on how to build the deck or where you can get cards. I built this based off of the trial deck, and then upgraded it with cards I got on eBay. Some of them are hard to find, like I've said, but once the deck is finished, it's really fun to play. It's my favorite deck, it's my main deck, and he hates it and he loves it at the same time.
I love it. I just hate how you play it. A little word. Be on the lookout on both his and my channel for more Vanguard related videos. He has 2, 3, 4 other decks right now.
Yes.
Other than this one, he might do some profiles on those ones. One he's upgraded. The other one he's kind of upgraded. And then there's the one that he has just been building for a week. That's actually pretty good, honestly.
So, the next deck profile I'm probably going to do is Royal Paladin. I'm just waiting for some new cards to get here. Other than that, these were my Gold Paladin Liberators, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Be on the lookout for Bar Chargon's channel for new updates! Woo!